Welcome to the Karyn Reece Show. I'm psychic medium Karyn Reece with my co-host Alexa Zappia.
Hi guys.
So there's a lot to be said about friends and foes. Obviously you're dear friends. You're actually more like family. But I know a lot of people always ask, what is the difference, or can you identify a friend versus a foe or a frenemy?
Or a frenemy, that's right. That's true. I like the little mash. That's cute. Yeah, I mean, sometimes when you're in such a toxic relationship, either a significant other or a friendship or whatever it is, and you're in it and you're living in it, sometimes it takes someone from the outside to really see how toxic it is. And sometimes when it's that toxic that you don't even see it, right? And you will make up excuses as to not see it because it's so perfect for you in that moment, in your eyes at least.
Well, I think sometimes people mistakenly believe that if somebody's similar to you, or you have the same, taste in things, or you both, whatever, relate in different ways, but still have similarities, they often mistake that as a true friend. We sort of, it's like you see the wrapping, but when you open up the wrapping, do you really have a present?
Yeah.
And I think people tend to make that mistake a lot. So here's a question. What do you do? How do you identify friend, foe, or frenemy? And then what do you do? How do you move away? Or should you move away or give that person a chance to redeem themselves or maybe meet you halfway in common ground?
Well, it's harder, easier said than done, right? Because someone can say, you need to distance yourself from whatever person it is. And it's harder for you because you're living in it. But also taking yourself out of those commonalities and saying that, yes, they're a friend, but like I always say, someone's in your life for either a lifetime, forever, or just for a certain amount of time, and it depends on, and you can outgrow people as you outgrow clothes, you outgrow whatever. So it's just a certain period of time that they're in your life, and
you've been in my life many lifetimes.
Well, I was going to say, why are you looking at me like that? Obviously, you didn't outgrow me.
15,000 years. It's called reincarnation. So my point from a spiritualist or a psychic, I would have to say that if you have a frenemy, a foe, or a friend in a past life, there's a good chance you'll bring back into your current life.
Great. Guess I was like, why are you laughing at me? That's why. That's exactly why. So what were we in past lives then?
Well, we definitely weren't nuns. Just... and you don't have to be psychic to know that. But actually, we do have a strong past life tie. I saw Europe, Northern Europe. You were like a niece to me, actually. Yes,
really?
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
You look very similar to yourself. And
really?
You didn't cook in that lifetime either.
Was I still 5 feet tall?
No, you're more like 4'11". So you've actually...
Oh, I've grown. Oh, good. Thank God. Thank you, God, for giving me 5 feet now.
Yeah, so you're reaching new heights.
I'm reaching new heights.
New heights above and beyond. But it is true, back to what we were talking about, circling back, though. There are times where you may have somebody in your family, or you may be, having to work with somebody, and how do you move out from that relationship? I say keep it cordial, but, if somebody's showing toxic behaviors, then it's time to just move on.
It is.
It's not your responsibility to maintain it. And even if you like the person and you find out that person just isn't truly a friend, then it truly is time to move on.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. And I always say, find your tribe and love them hard. And eventually, deep down in your gut, when you find your tribe, it's easy to love them hard.
Well, and you just hit on a really good point. When you have those intuitive feelings that maybe your relationship is changing, not for the better, or you're starting to see, sides of a person that you didn't actually see previously, then it's time to reassess.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yes, interesting.
Interesting. Well, we have a great show today, obviously. We have our new Trending Now segment, which is...
Love it.
I know. I love getting all these tips and tricks from all these people. It's awesome.
We'll have to work on our cooking tips.
Yeah, that's so much. Not too soon. Not too soon. And then, obviously, anytime you're around, Spirit's around. So we have messages for people who wrote into our social media pages and are looking to connect with Karyn. So up next, Trending Now. Welcome back to the Karyn Reece Show. So we are so excited to finally have found a salon that works for us, Salon Gianté. So when Karyn and I were speaking to Elise, who is the owner, she gave us a very important tip that I think all of you guys should know.
Exactly. It's funny, what you put on your hair really makes a big difference, and according to Elise, using professional grade products make the world of difference. And we had the greatest opportunity sitting down with her and having her give us some good ideas in terms of shampoos, conditioners, and hair products. She had a whole range. I mean, it's almost like comparing it, from what would you say, like your kitchen sink.
Yeah, it's like if you don't use professional grade products, it's like putting cleaning products in your hair from underneath your sink. It's that waxy texture. It's so many chemicals. So you and I know my mom does, and in our families, we invest in the professional products. And I think that one of the things that steers people away from that is the cost.
Well, and another good thing to think about, which Elisa had mentioned too, depending on your hair type, she definitely can steer you in the right direction, with straight, curly, whatever type of hair. So,
right.
Speaking of which, didn't she?
Yeah, so she said actually, so you guys can schedule a consultation at Salon Gianté. And like I said earlier, one of the things that deters people from using professional products is the price. But they're not really focused on that. And so what they want to do is for our audience, so you guys are so special. For our audience, she wants to give 20% off using the code Karyn. So you guys can go into the salon, pick out whatever product you want, schedule a consultation, get your haircut colored however you want it, and then go up to the counter, pick your products, and then use the code word Karyn, Karyn, and then you can get 20% off your product. So it makes it more affordable and gives you the products that you need.
Gotta love our tips, especially when you get a little bit of a break.
I love it. So we are so excited to have Stephanie Klemons, who's the associate choreographer and part of the original cast of Hamilton, which is one of my absolute favorite musicals. So it's such a big deal to have Stephanie on with us today. So welcome, Stephanie. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So if you were asked to do theater or TV, what would you prefer and why?
So funny that you said that. So I've done some TV, but I have not done much TV, and I've done more choreographing commercials than anything. Like that's my sort of experience with camera. And here's the thing about film and TV. It's like very hurry up and wait. So it's like, get here at 4 a.m., plan to be here until tomorrow at 4 a.m. It's so important. We're so important. It's so important that you're here. And this is you have to be here 6 hours early and check in. And then it's like, you just sit and you just like go to the craft food services table 100 times. And like, then when you go, it's like, go. And then you're done. You're like, can I get another? No, that's it. Okay. Okay, great. And so on the one hand, it's harder to feel like you're like executing your art because you can't really see or feel the product. But in a lot of ways, it's easier. And I worked with this woman, this incredible actress. Her name's Justina Machado. She's been in a bunch of TV shows, and she was in the Heights with me on Broadway. And I was the dance captain. So like the dance captain of a Broadway show puts, anyone who comes into the show new, you teach them the show and you put them in the show essentially. So she came in, we have our first rehearsal, and on Broadway, your rehearsals, you work for 90 minutes and then 80 minutes and you take a 10-minute break. So it's like an hour and 20 and then a 10-minute break. So we had been working for, 35 minutes straight. And she was like, do you people take breaks around here? And I was like, it's literally been 35 minutes, but that's what they're used to on TV. They come, they work for 3 minutes, and then they go get a coffee. Do you know what it's like? They do a scene, and then in order to switch the camera angle, it takes 45 minutes to an hour to clear that side of the set where the cameras were and switch them to the other side and then redress the set. And then the PA it's like just like a whole process. And so you say your line one time and then you go have coffee for 3 hours before you say it the next time facing the other direction. And so in a lot of ways, I'm sometimes like, oh God, I just wish I could break into TV and film because in some ways it's easier, but it's so difficult in other ways. And both things have their sort of pluses and minuses. The theater community is so tight knit, and it's such a beautiful community, as far as like philanthropic work goes, and just the people that you meet. So I'm grateful that Broadway was my dream. So I'm grateful that I've been successful on Broadway. I would like to do some film and TV more.
Come with us. Let's do it together. Let's do it. You're more coordinated than we are, so totally. you can instruct us.
It might be dangerous, though. Just think of it that. Here's a question for you. You've had the opportunity to work behind the scenes as well as in front. Is there a preference with either of them, or what are the advantages and disadvantages?
Yeah, again, like as far as easier, and this is obviously my opinion, someone else may feel totally differently and may be offended by me saying so, but being on stage in some ways is so much easier to just have someone tell you what to do. It's more physically taxing. It requires more physical discipline, but being behind the scenes requires an immense level of mental discipline and discipline to work, to work, to work, to work. And it's like if it's not good, it's your fault. Like everybody is going to join in the, like if you don't do a good job, everyone's going to suffer. Like if the choreography stinks, the whole cast is going to get bad reviews. If the direction is bad, the New York Times is going to shut the show and then nobody has a job. You know what I mean? There's just the pressures of choreographing and directing are so much greater. I know plenty of actors who would be like, that's not true. And from my experience, the most I've ever not been responsible for something was the show If Then on Broadway that I was in. And it was glorious. It was glorious just to show up. And I was the dance captain of that show. So I was still like teaching people their parts and giving notes. And I had responsibility there as like a, you know, whatever. But just to go on stage and have someone tell you, stand on 6 and sing this and stand on, you know, it was so much easier. So it's also then though so rewarding when someone executes your choreography or a show that you've directed and you watch it and it is good and you watch them blossom. Like I directed and choreographed a version actually of In the Heights at Lincoln Center, and I got to sort of like manipulate the show and do lots of fun things with it, and it was so rewarding every night. And it was rewarding not just for me, but it was rewarding to watch my cast enjoy performing it and then watch them get accolades for doing something. So more reward, but more demand in some ways.
That makes sense.
Yeah, totally.
So do you ever like get nervous when an understudy has to come in last minute, and do you work as closely with them as you do like an actual cast member? Does that make you a little nervous, or you're like, I got this, we're fine?
You mean like as like a choreographer?
Yeah. Or both, actually. You can answer that from both angles. But yeah, I'm
like as a performer.
Well, I was meaning
like
from a choreographer, but I guess it can be, yeah, you're right. You can be from 2 different perspectives.
Yeah. So as the associate choreographer, I work almost closer with the understudies than I do with the cast, because I'm like casting the understudies after the fact and spending time teaching the understudies. Not at this point in my career, but when there was only the Broadway show and when I was responsible for maintaining the Broadway show, now a resident choreographer does that. I was working with understudies, you know, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, 4 or 5 hours a day. And then I only see the cast for half hour before the show at night. So yes, I'm know when the understudies are there. And I think that as a cast member, when an understudy goes on, it makes it exciting, right? Because you're doing the same show every night. It's kind of like a marriage. Like it doesn't matter how exciting it is at the beginning. Like a marriage gets cold and you have to find things to keep it exciting. You know, it's like, and that's what it's like when someone's on. You're like, what's going to happen? Like, are they going to say something wrong? And that's, you know, are we going to have to pick them up and pick up the pieces, or are they going to nail it? And then we're going to be like, yes, my God, you did so good. And a mixture of both. So I think it's great when understudies go on. And in a lot of times understudies, you know, they're not like the B group. Like they're understudies that like cover all 3 sisters and can sing all those, like they're, so like in Hamilton, we have what's called universal swing and universal standbys. And those are people that are based in New York and travel across the country. Like, hey, I need you tomorrow. We're short in Angelica in Houston tomorrow. Get on a plane tonight with your costumes and a luggage and be on stage tomorrow. Like that takes a ridiculously talented human being who's both like mentally intelligent and clear and calm and also extremely talented to just sing harmony with all new people that they've never met on stage. So I love working with understudies. It's a really talented bunch of adventurous human beings.
I love that. Well, Stephanie, thank you so much. It was so amazing having you on with us. Thank you so much, and hopefully we'll see you back on stage soon.
Yay! Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Bye. So today we have a lucky winner who wrote to us on Instagram looking for a potential reading, and she was chosen as a lucky winner. So Melanie, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Are you excited?
I'm so excited.
Amazing. Okay, so Karyn, take it over.
Well, I'm going through a bunch of different things. I'm going into the future, but I do have a grandfather coming in, just so you know, coming, I believe on your dad's side or great grandfather. So he's standing right here next to you. Also, I keep seeing like a Tio, like a Tom or a Tony connection. Is that connected to you or to your grandfather or your dad? Does your dad have a friend like a Tommy or Tony? It's like a Tio is all I keep seeing.
I think so. I think of that one.
I want to say a Tom, might be a last name like Thompson or Thomas, but I see that name next to your dad real quickly. So just an FYI on that, if somebody there he's going to have a connection with, maybe past life ties with you. Also, I heard the name Adam around you. So if you're not connected to an Adam first or last name, keep that name around you because I'm seeing that in the future. And the other thing, I see you working with kids down the road, but I also see you doing sign language. Have you thought about taking up sign language at all?
It's definitely a thought. I definitely want to work with kids in the future, so that makes sense.
I see you work with kids, especially doing some sign languages. That comes up. I did see some changes with your career house too, because I see I'm on a path and then I make another change. I see more with kids with disabilities and challenges that will be part of your world at some point. That'll be very strong. Also, who has an October or November birthday? Like mother, father, passing, anniversary, and also who's my May, they just said.
October, November.
And who's the May? Usually the birthdays, passings, or anniversary.
May is my mom.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was gonna say it's got to be your mom because Grandpa said that too. I got her side coming in. Tell your mother happy birthday from her parents as well. The other thing too, I feel like I get headaches from time to time. Do you get headaches at all, or are you getting a little tension around your eyes? Yeah, I think you need to get glasses or get your eyes checked. Have you had your eyes checked lately?
No, I haven't.
That's something
I
you
need
do.
to.
And I see a lot of Asia around you in the future as well. Do you want to go to Asia, like Thailand? Yeah.
I absolutely do. Yes.
And one of your most exciting places, because your grandfather's talking about that. You have a past Thai, yeah, as being into Asia. So when you meet this woman, Gab, at some point, you both of you may say, oh, let's go for some Thai food or let's go for some Chinese food, but you definitely have a connection in that lifetime. And when you meet people that you feel you've always known, you've actually known them in past lives, just so you know. So FYI. The name Sue also comes up, a Susan. Is that another connection to your mom?
That's my mom's middle name.
Okay, that's why I felt it around her. Yeah, because I got her parents or your great grandparents coming in. Yeah, I'm hitting a lot with your mom too. Your mom's a good lady. Does her neck ever bother her, neck and shoulder?
I think so. I
feel like she's out of alignment, so she may want to go to the chiropractor.
Okay.
And your mother's a great lady. Give her a hug and a kiss from grandma on her mom's side is what I'm hearing. So I keep getting your, yeah, I love that. And also there's an Ann connection too. Is that connected to your grandmother, like a middle name, like an Ann or Andrea or an Ann?
That's my aunt on my mom's side.
Oh, and your mom must be close to Ann, I take it? Yeah. Yeah, she should call Aunt Ann just as an FYI. Those two must get together quite a bit. Do you like to bake a lot and cook a lot? Because I see that all around you.
Yes, I do.
Yeah. And have you been eating bananas lately?
Not too much frequently.
Yeah, add some more bananas to your diet. That's what they keep saying as far as that's concerned. You don't have a little small dog, do you? Little dark-haired dog, or did you?
I don't. My sister does, and I'm with him a lot.
Yeah, he's got a crush on you. I was gonna say it's got to be you or your sister because your grandfather says my granddaughter's dog loves Mel. Love on you. He's adorable.
He's really cute.
And he thinks he's a human being, so you better treat him that way, which is what you do. Yeah.
He really thinks he's a human baby.
Yeah, he loves it when you give him goodies, when you breed him like little treats and things like that. I did see one marriage for you as well, so you'll have a solid marriage going forward. By the way, who's December or January? Is that your birthday?
That January is my birthday.
Okay, because your grandfather said no. I always put it in 2-month increments. Well, happy birthday to you.
Thank you. Thanks.
And one again, that's all you say for the rest of your life as far as that's concerned. The name Mike also keeps coming up too. Is that another connection to your dad? I see like a lot of friends around him.
Michael is my grandfather.
That passed over?
No, he's still living.
All right, then I got Michael's father because he says Michael's my son and connected to you. So I got your great grandfather. Yes. Mike's a good man and he really cares deeply about his family, hardworking guy. And he really gets a thrill out of you and your sister. He loves his grandkids.
Yeah, he does.
And Mike's got to watch a little bit with his blood pressure, your grandpa Mike, a little bit with his sugar too. That's what his dad and mom just told me to tell you. So you may want to tell your grandpa, and also give him a hug and a kiss from his parents, your great grandparents. You have a really good family. You know that? I also see you being a very good saver, which I think will be very good for you in the future because you've got a lot of expensive taste in the future, just so you know. And also, I get a lot of entertainment around you. Do you like being around the entertainment field? Do you like to go to movies, go to shows? I get that all around you. You know, maybe like the 1920s, you actually worked around Broadway and the boardwalk is what I'm seeing.
Wow.
Yeah, as an actress. And you looked a lot like yourself, just a little bit more, you know, smaller in stature. But that's why you tend to like, you know, plays and music and the whole 9 yards. And actually, you're very much in your head too, Mel. A lot of what you're very heady in this lifetime. You think, you're creative, you're all in your head. You're very much in your head. Even when you're done with work, you're still, you know, work's still in your head. So that's the only thing you'll have to watch out for is you got to make sure you take some time out. But I love the fact, and Michael's parents, your great grandparents, love the fact that you're going to do work with some very, you know, challenged kids, but you're going to make a big mark on their lives. And I keep seeing sign language with you as well. And the name Ben comes up around you as well. Did you ever date a Ben? There's somebody with the name Ben that's going to like you, or he's
Yeah.
had a crush on you.
Yeah, in the past, I have.
She's like, yes, I did it. I own that.
Well, sounds like it was the right thing. Guess what? Ben still thinks about you.
Oh, okay.
Parents just told me, your grandpa's parents, they said, we know everything that you're doing, but you're on your way up. You're going to do amazing things in this life. The only thing you got to watch out for is you are way too much in your head. So you will have a lot of sleepless nights in this lifetime if you let things get you. And you're also a perfectionist too, which also adds to that. So you'll be on this cycle for a while till you get old and, you know, crunchy like the rest of us, where you just don't care. So just an FYI, but if you could do it sooner, better so for you. And this is funny. Was this a while ago that you dated this guy, Ben?
Yeah, I mean, it was like around the summertime.
Oh yeah, he still thinks about you.
Wow.
So FYI, but you know what Mike's father just said? He's not the right one. Forget about him. They didn't like him. So FYI on that.
Good to know.
You never know. Anyways, you got a solid life ahead of you. God bless you. Give your mom and dad a hug and a kiss. They've got some new things, you know, some newer people, the whole 9 yards. I definitely see a very strong marriage also in your future. It's not with Ben, just so you know. So FYI on that. Guys, thank you so much.
So if you would like to connect with Karyn, you may do so by visiting her website at www.karynreece.com, spelled KarynReece.com. You can also visit her on Facebook at Karyn Reece Psychic Medium, or on Instagram and Twitter at Karyn Reece. You can also call our office at 716-580-2520 in order to book a reading or inquire something about Karyn as well. So in an earlier segment, we talked about how, you know, you and I had a past life and multiple past lives, and we were like family then, and we're kind of like family now. But I guess my question is, since we're like family and you've had that as a positive bond that's carried with you now to this lifetime, have you had multiple lifetimes, you specifically, with people who were like enemies to you then, who have come back into this lifetime? Or is it really just if they were an enemy in a past life that they're kind of just like off?
That's a good question. Well, we all bring good and bad with us into our lifetimes. You know, people that may have done wrong in a past life, as well as those that have done good. The whole point of when you have a relationship that's tough in this lifetime, chances are it was tough in a past life or an enemy. And, you know, somehow you're trying to work that energy out. What you don't complete in this lifetime, you have to carry over to your next lifetime. So when people have differences, you know, they may want to try to work around it if they can. Sometimes you just have to leave the situation. But if you can somehow, you know, correct that or heal that, some may say, then you have a good chance that you don't have to carry that into the next life. But, oh, sure. And one way to know that, too, if you meet somebody and you suddenly don't like them, but you have really no explanation, it could be because of what you're picking up on them in this lifetime, or it could be a very well past lifetime.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, so if you find somebody and you're like, I just met you, but something's not right, it could be because they're bad in this lifetime, or they may have done something, you know.
Oh, so you still carry that guilt. Way to hold a grudge.
No, I don't. some people do.
Way to hold a
Grudging
grudge.
guilt, yeah.
That's so funny. That's interesting.
Yeah, everything
Let's just
comes
keep the
full circle.
positive relationships, please.
Yeah, in with the good, out with the bad.
Please,
you know?
right? Exactly.
Well, it's all energy. Water seeks its own level, so if you try to look for something positive and you try to put, positive projections out, and I think now more than ever, we need to maybe give somebody the benefit of the chance a little bit more. If you're at the checkout line and somebody's, grumpy, you may just want to try to say, hey, you must be having a bad day.
Exactly.
But on the other hand, if you do have somebody toxic, you don't need them.
You can just get rid of them. Well, anyway, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of The Karyn Reece Show.